of food. Now we're going to learn a little bit more about their feeding habits. We're also going to learn that these animals are facing many challenges in the Arctic, and the newest challenge that they are facing these days is climate change. With the changing of the Earth's climate, it is simply getting harder and harder for animals like these to survive. We're also going to learn that belugas are unique and extremely well adapted for life in an Arctic environment all year round, and that's part of what makes it so special. So today we're joined by some fabulous trainers inside the marine mammal habitat. Allow me to introduce you to Katie, up on the rocks there, working with two belugas like a super trainer. We got Paula over there, and we finally got Sarah working with Tika right there. Speaking of which, I guess I'd introduce you to the belugas. Let's do that. So we have Aurora. Aurora is our grandmother inside this habitat. She's in the back working with Katie right now. We're also joined by Keela, her daughter, 15 years old, the first beluga to be conceived and born in a Canadian aquarium. We are going to see her over on the far side, and she's giving us a wave. And she's going to be working with our animal encounter participants. So just a quick side note here, Animal Encounters are an extra paid program offered by the Vancouver Aquarium, where you do get a chance to head inside the habitat and interact with some animals. You get to get a natural history lesson and see what it's like to be a trainer working with these animals. So if you are interested in an animal encounter, please come and talk to me after the show. I will direct you to the appropriate people. And last but not least, because there's one more beluga in there, the really cute one, Tika, giving us a wave. There she is. She's about a little over 2 years old now. And you may notice she's a darker coloration. She's great. That's because belugas are not born white. They're born a darker color. And then as they mature and as they get older, their skin is going to turn white. All right. We've established that these are Arctic animals. So how do they stay warm in the chilly waters? When you think of other animals, you think of polar bears, you think of sea otters. They have fur. What do these animals have around their bodies to keep them warm? Someone shout it out for me. Blubber, very good, thank you very much. 40 to 50% of their body is made up of blubber. So Tika's spinning in the water there, you can see that blubber jiggling around her body. 40 to 50%. So if you're like me and you are not good with numbers, you can stick out your thumb like this. Thank you, one participant. You can stick out your pinky like this. A few more people, fabulous. You can put it to your side like this. That is how much blubber would be surrounding your entire body if you were a beluga. It is like being wrapped in a mattress worth of fat at all times. Needless to say, folks, it's quite a bit of blubber. Now, if you look closely at their bodies, you'll notice some parts which don't have as much blubber. Mainly their pectoral flippers and their tails. So if you look at those flippers and those tails, you will notice that they don't only lack blubber, they're also very small in comparison to the rest of their bodies. Why is that? Well, just like you and I, when we go outside, it's our extremities that get cold first. Our fingers, our toes, our nose, our ears, or in the case of you guys sitting down, maybe your behinds. Same goes for these animals. So the smaller those extremities are, the less heat they're going to lose to the chilly waters. But don't let those small tails and those small flippers fool you. These animals might not be as acrobatic as our Pacific white-sided dolphins over at the Wild Coast, but they can get those humongous blubberous bodies up and out of the water. Here is Aurora coming up. All right. Very nice. That's a lot of blubber to get out of the water, folks. Why don't we give her a roaring round of applause? Woohoo! All right, we've established it's cold. Now, along with the cold comes the ice. The ice up in the Arctic is what makes life as we know it possible. It is a home for sea ice algae to grow, so gooey green organisms which are going to feed invertebrate animals like amphipods and isopods, which will feed fish populations, which in turn are going to feed marine mammals like these belugas. If you look closely at these belugas, you'll see a great adaptation that they have for life among the Arctic by looking at their backs. We got a bit of a glimpse of Aurora's back right there as she was surfacing at the water. You'll notice that they do not have something that other marine mammals might have. What do they not have? There's their back right there. Any ideas? The dorsal fin, thank you very much. The dorsal fin. Instead, they have what's called the dorsal ridge. That's the ridgy, in Aurora's case, very bumpy part of their back. It allows them to get underneath the ice to get out all the food and anything they might want without a fear of getting caught and hurting a fin on the ice's surface. That's a fabulous adaptation that these animals have developed. As I said, folks are facing a lot of challenges in their natural habitat, and the newest challenge that they are facing these days is climate change. With the changing of the Earth's climate, it is simply getting harder for animals like these to survive. But what exactly is this climate change thing? It's thrown around a lot these days, everyone's talking about it, but what does it mean? Well, let's compare it to a beluga. Just like the beluga's got the right amount of blubber around its body to keep the body at the right temperature, our planet's got the right amount, the right layer, and the right combination of gases to keep the planet safe and completely livable for us. But the more energy we use and the more carbon that we add to the atmospheric layer, we're thickening the layer of gas around the planet, which is, for lack of a better expression, wrapping it in a great big gassy blanket and causing it to overheat. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the impact of climate change on the Arctic, do not hesitate to come and talk to me after the show, or head on down to Canada's Arctic Gallery by taking the staircase at either side of the Puketip. Alright, we've established cold, we've established icy, now we're moving on to my favorite topic, darkness. It sounded very grim, but you know what I mean. It is dark up to 24 hours at a time in the winter, so how do animals like these get around? Well, they live in a world of sound. The belugas are highly social and highly vocal creatures. They do make a wide variety of calls, which we are sometimes lucky enough to get to listen to. Those are some fabulous sounds that Tika's demonstrated for us. They don't seem to like when I start talking, you see. Whenever I start talking, they start making sounds. I think it's very important for us humans to have a good relationship with the rest of the animal kingdom, however. So on the count of 3, I would like to see everyone in this lovely audience to pick a sound that they've heard and imitate it. So I want us all to do our best beluga imitations. Now, we're not going to move forward until everyone does it. So even those that feel like it might be too cool for this kind of thing, I'm looking at you, sir. On the count of 3, we're going to give our best beluga calls. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Well, we managed to get a response from them. Not a bad thing. Give yourselves a round of applause. So the sound is very good in their everyday social interactions. As I said, they're highly vocal and highly social creatures, and it does play a key role in the growth of baby belugas in shallows, rivers, and estuaries in the summer months. Now, there is a great interactive panel downstairs in the Arctic Gallery that explores that very phenomenon and how noise pollution coming from human activity in boat traffic and in oil drilling is going to affect their growth in those sensitive early stages. So I do invite you to check that out. It is very interesting, groundbreaking beluga research that happened right here at the Vancouver Aquarium. It's also very good when it comes to navigation. They have a very accurate navigational ability, which we call echolocation, which consists of making a series of high chirps and clicks underwater and listening to the echoes to gauge the distance and size of objects and things.